Hi shooting fans, and it's me, Richard Cooper, with another airgun review. This time I'm reviewing the Springfield XDM series, which I think is both an underrated and overlooked airgun of this particular type. So without further ado, let's just jump straight in and have a quick look at these two rather fun airguns. So there's two versions that I own of the XDM series. Before we begin, there's no gas, no BBs in these magazines, and they've already been checked to make sure of that, so we're nice and safe. So I've got two versions here, and there's two variants of both versions to my knowledge. The first version is the 3.8 inch, which has got a grip extender which extends out partly over the magazine, and a much shorter barrel. And then we have the 4.5 inch, which in this case has got the brushed stainless finish and has a one-piece grip to accept the magazine. And to the best of my knowledge, you can get both of these versions either in fully black or with the stainless slides. Not that it matters to some extent, because you can interchange parts between these two. So if you wanted, I guess, if you wanted to have the this grip but with this slide, then you can do that. It's absolutely fine. So what are these guns? These are single action, polymer framed, striker fired automatic pistols, and they will be similar to something like the Glock 17 or the Smith & Wesson M&P 40. They'll be in that sort of style of gun. These are licensed, these are branded as Springfield with XDM, and they've got the logos all over them. From what I can discover, having had a really good look on the internet, they are very faithful replicas of the real guns. I'm just going to pop the magazines out and we'll have a quick look at the 4.5 inch version. Might be a little bit easy to see on the camera. So what have we got on in terms of controls? We have got a slide release lever here, slide release lever, takedown lever here, ambidextrous magazine release, and that's something that you don't see that often on these BB guns. We've got a grip safety, like a stirrup safety, as well as a trigger safety, and these do actually function. Nice little feature on these is when you cock the gun, you can see that there's a little pin that protrudes that tells you that the gun is cocked and ready to fire. Now I can try and actuate the trigger, but while this is not depressed, I can't. And if I try and depress the trigger without depressing the trigger safety, nothing happens. So I have to have both this depressed and pull the trigger properly before it will fire. And if I'm not satisfied with that level of safety, there is an additional manual safety which is underneath, masqueraded as the serial number, which you can slide to completely disconnect the trigger and it won't move at all. However, I never use that. This, as you can see, this is a little bit worn now because I've shot it quite a bit. I try not to review stuff that I haven't done a few hundred rounds through at least. I've had these guns for absolutely ages, and I've keep getting distracted and should make a review of them. I have done a couple of YouTube shorts with them, but that's about it. Okay, so taking these down, obviously remove magazine, move slide to rear and line up with the takedown lever. There's a little crescent shaped dent. We can slide up in here and then forcefully pull the slide forward, removing the lower frame. Removing the internals is relatively easy on this. You have to make sure that you push the guide rod all the way in, and then the barrel assembly will just lift out, and then you can carefully remove the guide rod so it doesn't go flying across the room like it did in my last review. And there you've got your spring and your guide rod. Let's move that to one side, and then the inner barrel comes away from the outer barrel, You can see that that's the long barrel version, the 4.5 inch. So you can see how small that is. And then the whole thing just goes back the opposite to how it came apart. I find that it's a good idea to fully compress the spring. You need to make sure that this little lip here is facing upwards. No, facing downwards. Get it right, Cooper. Facing downwards, because that will seat itself into that little notch there. Then we will get that in there, get it correctly aligned, drop in our barrel assembly, and then gently position the guide rod, and you'll hear it click as it seats itself. And then all we do is we slide it back onto the frame, get it in the right position, and then takedown lever will just snap down. If you're having to force that takedown lever, it's not in the right position. Now, like I say, you can actually swap these around between the guns. Let's prove it to you. So folks, if you are enjoying my airgun content and you'd like to see some more of it, I'd really very much appreciate you dropping me a sub. I love it when you guys like my videos, and it's great when you make comments as well. I love to hear from you, and many of you have got really interesting information to share, which I love to hear about. So like I say, all intents and purposes, the same gun. Why would you want both then? Well, if you've got both, you've got two. It's always better to have two guns than one. And obviously the magazines being interchangeable, it means that if you decide that you want to go and shoot, you know, whichever your preference is, then you've got extra mags. As you can see, I've purchased a few extra. Let's just swap those back, and you can see how easy that is to do. So like, this is probably like the second easiest airgun to disassemble, compared with the Glock being the easiest one, probably. So Glock 17 Gen 4, which I guess this is a competitor of. Oh, have I done? No, I've done it. I put them back on the wrong ones. You moron. So please, you know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you get notifications of my upcoming videos. I have got a specific playlist just for airguns and shooting, so if you're not too keen on the other content that I make, then please, airguns and shooting is the one to go to. There we go. So these feel really nice and well made. Magazines are also in this nice stainless finish, at least the ones I've got are. What else? In the box, you also get, on this model, you get some spares of these, or different sized ones, and you also get these back straps are replaceable. You knock, there's a little pin in here that you can knock out, and then you can remove the back strap. Personally, I haven't bothered. That seems to fit my hand quite well. Nice and comfy in the grip. Plenty of stippling on there. Nice little bit of ergonomic design for the thumb. The magazine releases are slightly recessed. I guess that's to prevent you accidentally pressing them. We've got a accessory rail on, which is on both versions, and like I say, it's basically the same, exactly the same frame, with the exception of the slightly longer grip without the extension. Right, let's have a closer look at these. Let's put them side by side. So we've got identical markings. Oh, try and get this in it. There we go, identical markings. So they're easy to see on the silver one. Got the XDM logo. We've got some warning lettering there, but it's thankfully very, very small, so you can't see it. We've got the 4.5, which denotes the barrel length imprinted here. On the black version, it says 3.8. It's a bit hard to make out though. We've also got, oh, that one has the word compact on, which I hadn't noticed before. You know, this is like, feels like really high quality, not just like stamped cheap rubbishy metal. It actually feels quite good quality. We've also got some XDM branding on the grip, and I think I noticed on this one it says Springfield, and on the other one it also says made in Taiwan. I think that's the Airgun is made in Taiwan. Flipping them over, on the other side we've got serial number printed on the slide, also printed on the receiver, and we've also got the XDM logo. Got these nice deep stippling on the slide for easy grip. As I mentioned before, ambidextrous safety catch. So there we are. Now I have got one other little accessory for this, if I can just, and that is I ordered off, I think it was eBay, from a company called Phobos that make what material this is. It's some sort of plastic, or is it Kydex? And this is for the XDM, and it fits both of them really well. Nice fit. You have to sort of give them a bit of a grab to get them out. And I like these little accessories. Got nothing to do with, you know, what was in the box, but it's just a little retention holster, just useful if you're in the garden and you've got your hands full and you've got magazines and stuff. You can, at least you've got somewhere to put your pistol when you're not using it. I am going to do a separate shooting review for this, but I have shot these quite extensively, and what I can tell you is, let's have a look. I've got some targets. So this one, that's probably one of my best ones. Actually, I don't know how well you can see that. And another one there. That was a bit low. I think, as I recall, and I will do another review, that the 4.5 inch barrel is a lot more accurate than the 3.8. 3.8, it does shoot a bit low. I had no malfunctions with either of the guns. They were malfunction free pretty much. They cycled well. They locked the slide open after the last shot. When you pop a new mag in, you know, you can do the whole recocking and everything works. You've got, oh, this is another nice little feature actually. Can you see that? There's like there's an actual extractor there, and I don't think it moves. Oh, it does actually. There's a little extractor, which I guess on the real gun would tell you whether or not there was a round in the chamber if it was sticking up. Oh, another nice little detail. There's a little Springfield logo embossed on the top of the slide. Don't know if you can see it too well there. There's one there. So, what's my overall opinion of these? Out of the Glock 17 Gen 4, the Smith & Wesson MP40, this is my favourite of those by like a fair bit. Prefer it to the Glock because it just feels a little bit chunkier, and I don't like the angle of the grip on the Glock as much as I do on these. I like it better than the Smith & Wesson MP40 because the trigger on this is actually good and the whole package doesn't feel naff. This is one of the better quality BB guns in the collection. I just think that manufacturers are getting better at making these and making them more authentic, making them more realistic. If you were thinking about the Glock 17 Gen 4, I would be saying, why don't you give the XDM a go instead? Because there's nothing wrong with Glocks, and actually having owned the BB version of the Glock, I can kind of see the appeal, the simplicity, the fact that they just tend to work. But these XDMs, you know, when something's like slightly ugly but therefore just looks a bit cooler, I think these look a bit cooler. That's just my weird sort of sense of things. The thing I like about these the most is that they just seem really well put together, and they feel really good quality. I'm not sure I feel like that about some of the Airguns in my collection. And I keep mentioning it, the Smith & Wesson M&P 40 just doesn't, it should tick all the boxes, but it just doesn't quite do it. So if you're in the market for something a bit unusual, a little bit different, I would heartily recommend these two Airguns. In the meantime, guys, please have fun, shoot safe, and I will be back really soon with another Airgun video. And this one's a bit of a surprise because I haven't even had it delivered yet, and I'm hoping it's going to be a UK first. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.